Hello everybody and welcome back to Oakbridge Farm. So the worker was doing an amazing job down on this field, just finishing off this contract until this final pass. I just came to come and have a look and they were just sat in corner of field just chilling out. So we are just going to, like that, finish the field off. So with that now done, we can look at collecting that money. So we just pull off slightly and we can get rid of the map now. If we go to contracts, go to active, so that's £13,000. Thank you very much. That pays for the fertiliser that we no longer need. So as far as I'm aware, if we go on to precision farming and have a look through here, I don't know why that's saying red, because I'm sure we've been round and thrown some fertiliser onto there, but we can just nip over there and double check. So I don't think we're going to be able to unfold to see if we can just spread a little bit on here to see, but what we can do though is we can get ourselves stuck and see what happens in that sense. Right, so let's unfold like so. We'll use the olive grows to just lift us up. Then we spread a bit of fertiliser like so, and now go have a look. Okay, so that is changing it. We're not getting the full width. So the best thing to do here, in my opinion, is rent one of the small spreaders and we can just throw it on from the side, because using this is just going to be an absolute nightmare. And we are going here, there and everywhere. So let's empty. What? Why is it thrown it to there? And then we can, if we go into here and lease items, I don't think we need that no more, so let's return that. And it leaves the John Deere in a bit of a precarious position, but we can now move this out of the way. You'll see the fertiliser pallets have just been moved. I thought it was ridiculous putting them in there, leaving them in the olive grove. So turn that off. We now want to go find the big case here, and then I am guessing that our liquid fertiliser that it's saying that we have in storage, it must be in here. So I did just off camera when I started fill this up with seed that we had everywhere. Yeah, there's a load of liquid fertiliser. Filled this up with the seed that we had at the store. There was the odd bit of seed that was around the farm, so I've filled it up with that. There was the IVC at the store of liquid fertiliser, so I put that in, and now obviously I'm just topping up through here. And that's now full. We're set to sorghum, which is what I would like to put in, is it field 7? Can't remember, the white one up there. Yeah, so we're going to hopefully get on and get the majority of this done, because we do still have the rolls on hire to roll this straight afterwards. obviously the headlands, they take a lot of time because there's a lot more manoeuvring than what there is when you're just doing your straight up and down, which I'd say there's 2 if not 3 left to do. I have missed a little spot over there which won't make any difference, but it's very annoying when you're looking at a cleanly done field. So we will just quickly run up and down these last few rows. Well, it could be 4 now we're looking at it from this angle. We will get this done, and then our next job will be to get the John Deere. We'll have to go get our auto stacker, which is in that yard there where the windmill is. I think it's got some straw on still. We're going to have to go gather up did I turn them into hay bales or did I leave them in grass? I think I must have turned them into hay bales. We're going to have to go gather up a load of the hay bales, take them to the sheep, because they are now their trough is empty and they're just on their meadow grass. So unless the meadow grass regenerates every month or not, they will be running rather low, which if we just get to the bottom of this pass here and get set on the next one, I can show you. We also need to see whether the John Deere is powerful enough to go on the rolls, because if that's the case, we could maybe look at setting a worker on rolling, or it can just be a job that we do. So cruise control on, like so. Animals, so the goats are fine, but the sheep, yeah, so they've got 26, well, just under 27,000 litres left to go. I don't think that will last very much longer. So if we go gather the hay up, what's that? Is that one more pass? Maybe it is. If we go gather the hay up, we can just go tip everything we collect into there and just leave the odd little bale just in case the cows need it. We say you could possibly do all with the feed as well. So we'll get on, just do all these little. No, it is another pass, isn't it? So yeah, once this is done, we'll get on and we'll go do all these other little jobs just to make sure, well, housekeeping as it were. So it seems a waste to have such a big planter on hire and just the one field to do with it, but I have just looked on the contracting menu and there is nothing. There's no planting anything for us to do after this, because this field must have had, because well, looking at everything here, the nitrogen is absolutely fine, and on the yield map it says it takes a lot of nitrogen, and at times whilst going over this field we've had too much. So I don't quite know what to make of that, so we've saved a lot on liquid fertiliser. But what my hope is when we do come to start to sell everything, I don't think I will sell buildings come the end of the series, but I will try and look at selling everything else. I may sell the wind turbine and all that because that costs a lot of money to put down, but I don't know, it's something to think about. But where I'm going with that is, obviously we have a lot of liquid fertiliser, so that will all need to be sold. So we're not just going to go waste this here. So let's fold this back up again and we'll take it down there. And unfortunately, I think that's the end of this. It's a lovely, lovely planter though. Part of the Plains and Prairies pack is that, so I'm very happy. And if we scoot through the gate like so, well, we wouldn't be able to get through if there was a hedge, if our neighbours had a hedge planted there. But yeah, so we'll just go into the yard to unload. If I can, I'll try and dump the liquid fertiliser back into here, if it will let us. I don't know whether it will or not, but it would be handy if it did. Can we... Oops. Let's just refill everything again. Maybe not. Trying to refill, it just tries to take the liquid fertiliser straight out of the tank. Right, let's go to here and let's return this. So return. We can now go put the rolls on, and we can leave this on the rolls for the time being, and then we'll go jump in the John Deere. That will then need to be brought here because we've got these 6 bales. I may go and just sell these 6 bales, there's no point holding on to them. So let's just reverse onto these rolls. I know this can definitely pull it, so we might as well keep that on. And that's the point. I'm going to sell that forklift. Forklift, that one. Let's sell that. That is one of my favourite forklifts in the game. Because we've got the Palafinger and the little moppet on the back, we don't really need it. I'm also selling everything as we go, which makes a lot more sense. Otherwise we'd spend half of every episode just gathering stuff up to sell, and then we would never really get anywhere. So I'm going to put this on, go sell these bales, and then we can go gather up a load of hay and take them for our sheep. If we don't get stuck, yeah, then we'll go take them for our sheep. And there is also, what's nice is, if you look at our poplar, that's starting to come along very, very nicely. So I'm looking forward to that. It's just a shame we're only going to get one poplar harvest done, and we're going to do it with the what they're called now, forage harvesters, I think. Foragers. Yeah, forage harvesters. We're going to do it with that, so we should be able to cut get it done fairly quickly, and we can also just cut it at the day where wood chips are at their absolute highest. So once we get this load into here, we shouldn't have to feed any of the cows for at least a day or two, but we'll just back that as far as possible and unload. We only have enough silage in the pit, I think, for one more load to the BGA, and then we may have to then look at using some bales instead. So let's pull the John Deere out the way now and have a look at what else there is to do. So for some reason my eggs have decided to start storing here, which isn't really what I wanted. But if we go on to here and find the chickens, they're fine for food. All cows, water buffalo, goats are fine, and the sheep now have plenty. And I can't remember, I'm going to have to remember, 25,500 litres of meadow grass. If we go and just speed up an hour, hopefully it doesn't take too long. What was it, 25 and a half meadow grass. So now let's knock that down. 24 and a half. So it's using 1,000 litres of meadow grass. So they must still be eating the meadow grass then, but they're using 1,000 litres of meadow grass per hour. That is a ridiculous amount of meadow grass. What I may do, is that gate open? We may just bob in this quickly. Are we stuck? I would say so. We'll just take one bale, maybe two, depends if this can lift it, because I know it's not the greatest lifting capacity. Which I'm sure, with this being the size of what it is, you would have thought it would have been a lot better. But considering that's hay, that's managed to do it alright. Obviously hay is all dried out, so a lot of the weight is in the moisture of your silage bales and or just grass. Which this year, with it being so warm and whatnot, there's very, very little hay about, so the price of hay is going to shoot through the roof. I know the sheep farmer near us, the sheep farmer that has rents our dales and whatnot. Where's that stone up there? Let's just go like that now. Like so. Well, I know that the grass that he's been cutting, he's been going absolutely everywhere, all around the estate, finding any patch of grass, just to make sure that he can cut some hay, just purely for the value of it all. We're the same for silage. That's going to cost a lot of money, because most people you can get 3-4 cuts a year, but without rain and your grass growing, that seriously diminishes how many cuts you can get. So we will take this back now. Is that some weeds there that it's left? Has that completely de-weeded that field? Yes. Okay. So we'll let our worker off there. And this has a front linkage, so we won't make it a wasted journey. And we'll go spreaders. We just need a fertilizer spreader, don't we? So. Which ones? Was there a Plains and Prairie pack? Oh yeah, but that was for that big thing. We'll look at using something a bit different, but I think that's going to be very much the one to use. What's the spread? 42 metres. Right, so we will lease that. We can then go take this. See, there's a gate or anywhere through here, just to bob through. Could you put one there though? It's a bit pointless trying to put this put this gate in, but yeah, you could put one literally straight here maybe. You go to there we go. So I could just take that out. And then oh, how lazy is that? Still got to go all the way around there, or go all the way around there, because all we have to do is go down here. Right, we're not going to be lazy, we're going to go this way. So we'll just go grab this, throw this onto the front. This is just to do our olive grove with, so we don't need anything big, and there's only 2 pallets of solid fertiliser. But what I would like to have a look at is, I'm sure I saw a hoeing contract, and I'm just thinking, right, there's 2, and that one's right next to the fire. Well, that was even better. So we've got these 2 here. So what I'm thinking is 35 acre, and this one must be about 22. So I'm saying we're getting more money to do that one. So we'll take this spreader down to, well, we're not taking it far at all, have we? But any sort of take it that little bit further to our farm should surely help us in the long run. So we're just going to take this, we are going to leave it here, and then at least we can bob through with another vehicle and pick it up at some point. We're then going to get the contract for this field. We're going to set our worker on doing this. So 25, accept contract. It's just a hoeing contract, isn't it? Yes. Field 6. Let's hire a worker into there. We then want to jump to here, and we're going to get rolling of field, I think it's field 7, but we're going to get, oh, we're going all over the place. I hope these signs don't have a collision on, otherwise we're going to find okay, just the poles have a collision. Right, we're going to get on and get this rolled. turn this, because as far as I'm aware, that is all our fields now complete. Once we get this little bit done, and having the 54 metre tram lines are brilliant. We're not wasting too much of the field. So if we go into here and our garage menu, which again is by the amazing, I think, is it Oz? By the amazing Oz? Yes, by Oz. Unfortunately, it's PC only at the moment, but hopefully that can come to console. It's brilliant, but I'd imagine it would very much be a scripted mod. But right, with this all drilled, we'll take this back to the farm. We'll go find the John Deere, and I think one last job is we will just spread some fertiliser over the over our olive trees, bring that back up to where we want it to be, and it'll be in the next month or two that then will need mulching. So just going to leave this in here for now. But as far as I'm aware, I don't think we need it anymore. The only thing that we may want it for is if we're getting an auger wagon. Because if we're getting a auger wagon, we'll want something to pull it in the field, and then we can look at trucks and filling up our 3-in-1 trailer there, and or we can get some other grain trailers and bring them into the fields as well. But we'll go get our spreader, and then we can load it up with the solid fertiliser we have just there on our right hand side, and yeah, get that little bit spread, and then I think that will call it a day for this episode, and then it should give the worker hopefully enough time to finish that contract and bring us in a bit more money. Now our fertiliser spreader, which is just here, we shouldn't need, well, to be fair, we've got a front weight on anyway, so it shouldn't matter too much the weight. So let's put that on, and let's now just quickly bob back down to our olive grove, and we can just finish off getting the olives ready. So one of these should do. To be fair, that could possibly do, or do we, let's just try this one first, because if not, I have a feeling that if we try and put that other pallet in there, we'll end up having 3 pallets left over instead of 2. So let's turn this on. Start spreading. It is changing the ground colour, so it should hopefully be doing, there we go. Now we can see it's all going from dark red to more of an orangey colour. Interesting how the other side looks like it's green in some way, but this should be covering the whole side, but we will, just as a precaution, we will run up the other side if we have the fertiliser left. But we really are burning through it. I didn't think it would take this much. But it does say we're on 0 fertilisation. 0 kilograms per hectare apparently. So let's just try get around this bottom. Oops. We've lost our yield map, so we can't see what's happening there. And then if we just whiz up this side, if there's any touch up that it does need, we can give it to it there. But at the minute, it's not doing anything. So that's about 400 litres we've used, just going down that one side. Anything going to tell us anything? Nope. So what we will do is, what's that spreading on now? Let's just have one look at, if we go to here and precision farming, does this need some fertiliser on it? Which we may just have to enter vehicle. Let's just have a look. Whilst we've got this fertiliser, it might as well be used. So that is saying nitrogen is perfect, and next month it will be ready to harvest again. So I think it may be worth doing another batch of hay out of it, and then that could very well be the last cut. So let's just have a quick whiz onto here. So that's fully fertilised, these are fully fertilised, fully fertilised, fully fertilised. 10 should be. Let's just quickly visit onto here. So nitrogen perfect for the oats. I'm only looking through because if this spreader we've got, if we need to sell it, so P8's good. That's the only thing that's okay. If we need to get rid of it, I'd rather make sure that all our fields are right and ready than not. So why is that not giving us a nitrogen reading? Precision farming, nitrogen. So it's saying it's green. Interesting. I wonder why that's not giving us a nitrogen reading. Let's just nip to field 11. Oh, is it because it's linseed, and thus being linseed won't be... Oh, I don't know. Well, our worker is getting cracked on there. He's 83% through, so he's almost done. I'm hoping that field that we've just drilled and rolled today, I'm hoping that that won't need hoeing. But obviously the hoe is just here to go in and do that in the next episode if need be. We have just over one load, if we're going to here, 101,000 litres, so we've got 1.5 loads of silage left to go to the BGA, which we don't need to do until next month. There's a lot of cows rammed in there. And yeah, so I think if we load up what's left of that pallet into here, that should get all our solid fertiliser up. And there's not much more to say than thank you very much for watching. I hope you have all liked and enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye for now.